I'm an addict named Danny.
Hey, Danny.
All right, it's time to introduce our speaker. I'll describe Stephan in 3 words: joyous, happy, and free.
Oh, man.
And with that, I'm going to give you Stephan.
Hi, everybody. I'm Stephan, a grateful recovering addict.
Stephan.
Hi. And I want to truly thank God and this program of Narcotics Anonymous for showing a knucklehead like me a new way of life, right? And I want to thank this convention committee for even asking me or believing in me that I have something to say that can help somebody like a still sick and suffering addict, right? Because I'm not standing here on my own, right? I'm standing here on the shoulders of so many people that came before me, right? The predecessors, right? The hard-won experience, man, gave me the freedom to be able to stand up here and carry a message of hope and the promise of freedom, right? And I always share this, right? Because before I even get started, right? God did not clean us up for us. Mm-hmm. He cleaned us up, and that's where we come in where, like, the I gotta die. Because I get high, we stay clean. You know what I'm saying? I have to continue to keep doing what I did when I first come in here, right? So I don't have to go back to the basics. If you keep doing the basics, you don't never have to go back to them again, you know what I'm saying? And the main thing, right, I like to share is, right, is about the power that this program has, right? For the first time in man's entire history. We're talking about entire history. What's the entire history of man, right? Since like Adam and Eve, right? For the first time, right? In man's entire history, right? Like, I always share this, like Eve bit the apple and didn't know it was laced with fentanyl. I'm just saying. We're talking about for the first time, and she was running around in the garden, and Adam's running after her and stuff, whatever, but I'm not going to get off track with that and stuff, whatever, right? But we're talking about a proven way has been working in the lives of addicts, man. The first time, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is what I always dreamed of in active addiction, right? Now that God has afforded me with this gift, this is one gift you don't want to throw back at God, right? And all he asks us to do, right, is to just help somebody else. Like he didn't clean me up for me, man, huh? He cleaned me up, man. So I got 22 years clean, man. You know, helping somebody else, man. I'm trying to tell you, man, listen, right? The most powerful thing that we have, man, is when we help another still sick and suffering addict. They say the power of this program, right? Like we're addict with 2 days clean. When you come in here and you raise your hand and I'm an addict, man, you receive the power of this program, right? When you come to believe, right, God has given you a power to help an addict with 1 day clean. Well, you can tell them, man, and you believe it in your heart when you tell them that this program works. When I come in here, right, man, and I ain't going to put on the spot, right, man, a lady, right, she works here, she's away. I just asked her, man, she told me she has a daughter in active addiction. I said, we're going to pray for her. She's been in and out of rehab. I said, we're going to pray for her, right? And she told me what her name is, right? And I said, listen, right? And she said, I believe that she's going, she said, she tried everything, whatever. She said, but I really do believe it. And I said, and I do too, right? A guy told me, right, a long time ago, right, his name was Mubashir, right, when I was in my active addiction, right, I was working at this little place, you know, listen, and I'm going to say something, right, I'm going to jump around a lot, right, so just jump with me, all right? We know how we act. We know how to jump with you, you know what I'm saying? We're going to go through some hoops and whatever, man, and I'm going to start some stories, and I ain't going to finish them and stuff, whatever, but I'm still going to get to the message of that an addict, any addict, can stop using drugs, lose the desire to use, and find a new way to live, right? Our message is hope and the promise of freedom. When all is said and done, our primary purpose can only be, to carry the message to the addict who still suffers, because that's all your stinker behind got to give, Stephan. You ain't got to give no opinions, no advice, none of that, whatever, man. All you got to do is carry the message of hope. Now, a lot of people, want to get clean and stuff, whatever, and I'm just talking about what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about nobody. A lot of people get clean and want to talk about, to another covering addict, if you keep using, you're going to die. That's not your story. If you're sitting there telling them, that's not your story. If you keep using, you're going to die. You didn't die, Stephan. No. The message is that, listen, you're going to be all right. Do what we do, you're going to be all right. Not you're going to keep using, you're going to die. That's not your story. That's not our message. Our message has always got to be of hope and the promise of freedom. You know what I'm saying? When isn't the promise of freedom enough for you? Where we came from? Come on, man. We ain't trying to be judgmental and stuff, whatever, man. And people come in the rooms and stuff, whatever, man. And I'm sitting there with 22 years clean, man. I get up. If I don't know you, I get up. And I ask you, how are you? What's going on? What is your name? I make a person feel welcome. You know what I'm saying? Because that's all I have to give, man. That's my job here in Narcotics Anonymous, man, to make the newcomer feel welcome. Not how much clean time you got. And when they raise their hand and start sharing, what is your name? Ask him what his name is after he finished sharing or whatever. Don't interrupt him while he's sharing and stuff, whatever, you know what I'm saying? That's not, what we do, you know what I'm saying? Ask him his name before when he first comes in. Introduce yourself to him and stuff, whatever, right? They're already badly beaten. You know what I'm saying? We don't need to beat them up no more when we come into the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous, man. The first thing we do is show love, right? It is the most powerful thing that we have here in Narcotics Anonymous, man. And not only is it the most, I believe that today. The power that God has entrusted us with, right, is helping a still sick and suffering addict. That is the price that we pay for our room here on earth, is helping another person. And when you help another person, you're helping yourself. Helping a still sick and suffering addict is one of life's greatest experiences, right? It says it here in our literature, right? It says, learning to help others is a benefit of the Narcotics Anonymous program. Remarkably, working the 12-step guides us from humiliation and despair to acting as an instrument of our higher power. When you go out to help somebody else out, man, I'm trying to tell you, man, God is going to equip you with what you need to help that person out. It always asks, God's will for us is not no simple will. It's a powerful thing, right? You got to ask him for the power to carry it out. You know what I'm saying? The still sick and suffering, that's a whole different animal out there now. That fentanyl is a whole different animal. We need help. I don't have experience. Like, when we first got clean, listen, man, they was kicking in the rooms. I ain't seen nobody withdraw or kick in the room in years. That fentanyl is not letting you withdraw or kick in the room. The disease done progressed, so we need to be more progressive, right? And I'm going to say this, right? It says, the spirit of love that we express here in Narcotics Anonymous, the life flow energy that we do right here in the rooms is the most powerful thing that we have, right? We watch addicts come back to life in the rooms. Back to life in the rooms. And listen here, right? And I'm not stepping on no toes. I don't want to step on no toes, right? I'm just talking about what I'm talking about. It says in the rooms, not on Zoom. And I'm going to say, listen, right? And I'm trying to tell you, man, listen, right? Thank God for Zoom. I'm not going to say, you know what I'm saying, during COVID and the pandemic and stuff like that. Thank God for Zoom. We're not in the pandemic no more. Come on out of Zoom. We need to open up meetings right now, right? And it says it here in the literature. We attend meetings and make ourselves visible and available.
That's right.
The ones out on Atlantic Avenue and in Atlantic City and the Renaissance Plaza, whatever, they ain't on Zoom. They don't have phones. They got government phones, but they don't go on Zoom. You can't get all that stuff, whatever, man. We're not visible and available and reaching out to the still sick and suffering addicts, right? And I'm talking about what I'm talking about. Not talking about nobody. Talking about myself, right? I don't Zoom no more. I attend regular meetings. And it says in our literature, through our group experience, and those, right, from our group experience, right, we have learned that those that attend our meetings regularly stay clean. Well, Stephan, and I'm talking about what I'm talking about, people say, your regular ain't my regular. And I'm saying, well, I got high regularly. You know what I'm saying? So I make meetings regularly. I have to work today. I work 12 hours every day, and I still attend meetings regularly, right? Because I work at a job, right? And let me go back up. Let me jump around. Let me jump backwards again, right? I'm a graduate from one of the most prestigious culinary schools in the United States. Not in the world, in the United States, right? It's the Ivy League School of Culinary Schools, right? It's called the Culinary Institute of America, and I'm not promoting it. I'm talking about my story, where I graduated from, right? And I graduated up here, right? And I was good at what I did, right? And Caesars, I'm originally from upstate New York, and Caesars, right? And I'm talking about back in 1980, and Caesars was opening up a casino in Atlantic City, and right before you graduate, 6 weeks before they graduate, they come up there and officials from the White House come up to the school to recruit chefs for the White House, Carnival yachts and whatever. It's a Ivy League school, right? Culinary school. And Caesars of Atlantic City, Caesar's Palace at the time, came and recruited me and brought me down to Atlantic City and paid me top dollar, right? And I'm talking about, man, listen, right? I'm talking about, and I came to the casinos from upstate New York, right? Country boy from upstate New York, right? And all the lights and the glamour and the casinos and all that. And I'm telling you, back in 1983, in the casinos, everybody was getting high. Supervisors, managers, chefs, cocktail waiters, everybody was getting, you know what I'm saying? Because we was working a lot of hours so we could make a lot of money so we could buy a lot of coke. And we bought a lot of coke and crank. A lot of people don't know about crank, right? And crank and coke. So we could buy a lot of that, right? So we could work more hours and stay up so we can make a lot of money. So we can buy a lot of coke and crank so we can work more hours so we can stay up and make a lot of money. And it was just like a dog chasing his tail, right? And everybody was getting high. We had security. We was getting high in the locker room. We had security looking out for security. You know what I'm saying? He's got the walkie-talkie, like, go ahead, hurry up. The guy's coming up, you know what I'm saying? That's one of the persons that wasn't getting high, his supervisor, right? He was on him, though, but. Anyhow, but I was making top scale, right? And my ex-wife now, right? I got two of them, right? I went through 2 wives, right? Boy, listen, huh? Boy, my active addiction, boy, I tore them up, man. And they just couldn't take it no more, man. And I ain't mad at them either, man. When I first got clean, man, I was crackhead bastard. That's who I was to my ex-wife, especially my first wife. We had 5 kids together, whatever. When she came down to this area, she was making more money. She worked at the Taj Mahal, programming computers, IT. She worked there a whole year before they even opened the building. And I'm a sous chef at Caesars getting top dollar, right? Back then, I was making, in 1983, I was making $30,000 a year. Back in 83. How many years ago was that? I can't really, you know what I'm saying? That's a long time ago.
42.
Huh? 42 years ago, I was making $30,000, and she was making more than that. So we was living in Brigantine, right? And we was raising 5 kids, right? And I was doing good. And I don't know what nobody was saying about, you know what I'm saying, and in the literature, and this man knows the literature, the book or whatever, his sponsors in the book and stuff, whatever, man. And I don't know about the literature, but one thing I'm not really too keen about in the literature, it says that in the beginning, it says using was fun. Right. Now, the beginning was before crack. Whoever wrote this didn't smoke crack. This was written in 1953. Wasn't no crack out there. Right? I don't know when crack came on the scene, but whoever named it the right thing. It cracked me, man. It cracked my spirit. It cracked my head. It cracked everything. I got 2 butt cracks from the crack. I'm saying that's how bad it was, right? And I ain't going to glorify and say that in the beginning using was fun, man. In the end, it was horrible, man. It was horrible. And I just told you, right? I just told you my story, right? I graduated from the best school in the country. At the end, I couldn't get a job at McDonald's. With the best degree in culinary arts, man. I contemplated killing myself. I had 5 kids and a wife that didn't want nothing to do with me. I was crackhead bastard, right? I was getting locked up for child support. Every time I got out of prison, I couldn't pay. I did more time on a dirty urine than I did on the actual crime. I couldn't get a job nowhere with the best degree money could buy. And that was my gift, and I loved doing it, and the disease of addiction robbed me of it because I didn't know what I suffered from. And a lot of people are in the grave right now because they don't know nothing about the disease of addiction because we not carrying the message the way we should be carrying it.
Ooh, that's right.
And I'm just talking about what I'm talking about. I ain't talking about nobody. But we have to do more in trying to help the still sick and suffering out. We are the most powerful vehicle for carrying our message. Lives are at stake. They say that, man, what's going on, Joe? What's going on, baby, huh? They say that, listen, that, you know what I'm saying? The therapeutic value of one addict helping another is without parallel. I'm not saying rehab and incarceration and programs and all that. I'm not saying they don't work, but they're not more powerful than one addict to another. The life flow energy. They got something, and I use this all the time, right? That they got something called Narcan. It brings people back to life when they OD. That's not working no more. They hitting them twice, they hitting them 3 times, and they still dying. The Narcan ain't, but you know what is working? It says the life flow energy and the spirit of love that we show in Narcotics Anonymous, right? It's in action when we watch an addict come back to life in the rooms. We see them come back after having time clean. If they're lucky enough to make it back, they're barely shaking. And they tell us that the relapse was worse than the earlier use. Badly shaken, you know what badly shaken, when it says it in the literature when they make back and they're badly shaken is this. Come on, man, that's that fentanyl. When I first got clean, there wasn't none of that going on. This is a new monster, new animal we're working about. But we are the most powerful vehicle for carrying the message. This power that God gives us, we have to use it. If you don't use it, you what? You lose it. Why would you want to lose a precious gift that God has given us by not using it? They need us. Here in the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous, they need us. Our families, our friends, our loved ones, right? They come to us for hope. And we got to give it to them. And the hope is love. We don't threaten them. We don't do nothing, man. We love them up, man. Because we know. We've been there. About the hole, right, Barry? They're down in the hole. They can't get out. They're yelling for help. The fire engines come past. They put the help. They put the ladder down. The ladder's too short. They can't get out the hole. The cops come. They got a rope. They put the rope down. They can't get the rope. It won't pull them out. They can't get out. They're in the hole. Still sick and suffering addicts are coming by. The priest comes by. He prays for them or whatever. They don't get out the hole. They're yelling for help. Still sick and suffering addicts on their way to the meeting. Come past the hole. Help, help. And they be like, what's going on? I say, I fell in the hole and I can't get out, right? What do? We jump in the hole. They're like, no, why you jumping here? Ain't no way. I said, we've been here before. There's steps over there. We know where the steps are. We can get out the hole. Follow us. We guide people. We show people. We don't tell them what to do. We show them. I stop listening to what a person say and I watch what they do. People are watching us. God's watching us. He gave us a gift, man, that nobody else has, man, and we have to use it. There ain't no big eyes and no little user here. We all got the power. The group is the most powerful vehicle for carrying the message, right? I was just thinking about my daughter, right? My oldest daughter. One of my biggest fans, right? And she passed away like 6 years ago, right? She died of cancer, right? She died of cancer, right? She beat breast cancer, double dissecting, whatever, and the cancer came back and attacked her lungs, man, and she just couldn't fight no more, man, and she beat cancer, right? I'm going to tell you a story about her, right? So in my active addiction, I got this prison bit. And I got wife, ex-wife, the first one, jump around with me, right? Because I got a couple ex-wives, right? Jump around with me, right? The first one put a restraining order out on me. I couldn't see my kids. I'm down prison, whatever. I'm not supposed to contact her or whatever, man. So I'm writing letters to my daughter, my oldest daughter. She's about 15 or 16 at the time, right? She's holding the fort down because I don't know what my ex-wife is doing. I don't know what, running around. I don't know whatever. But my oldest daughter is like raising my other 4 kids, right? And the rest of them are a lot smaller, couple toddlers, whatever. And she's like kind of like raising them, right? And so I'm down in prison, and I don't know what to do, and I don't have nobody to contact, right? And so I'm writing her. And I'm about to come home. And she's writing me back and said, Dad, we can't wait. I can't wait. You know what I'm saying? I said, all right, when I get out of prison, I'm going to come and get everybody. And we're going to go to the boardwalk and have a good time. Right? I can't wait. Right? And she's excited too. Right? I haven't seen them in like 3 years. And I get out of prison, and they told me as soon as I get to Atlantic City, the first thing I need to do, right? And I got like $700, $800 something dollars, $1 a day I work for. I'm saving it all because I want to go get my kids, and I do. I miss my kids. I love my kids, right? It always wasn't this bad, when I was in Brigantine with the dog and the nice house and whatever, man, and good job, whatever, man, and it was good coming up, man. We used to go to Sesame Place, we used to go places, whatever, man, until crack came on the scene. And now I'm getting out of prison, And I want to, man, listen, man, I've been praying, I've been reading the Bible, I've been doing everything I need to do, man. I'm grounded, man, and I don't want to get high no more. I had a chance to get high now in prison. I didn't want to get high. And I get out, and I go off the bus in Atlantic City at the bus station. I walk down to like Iowa Avenue, right now, and I go to the parole officer. And when I get to the parole officer, they said, give me your name. I gave my name. I said, Stephan J. Johnson. And they said, okay. She came back and she said, listen, your parole officer is on vacation. You don't need to report back for 2 weeks. So I leave. And my kids are staying way uptown in Atlantic City. And I'm walking. And I got this money in my pocket. And I go, now I don't want to smoke crack no more. But I'm trying to tell you, right? I go past one of my local bars. And someone says, this bud's for you. In my own voice. Bud's wiser. You've been down 3 years. You need a cold one. Coors Light. The mountains are blue. When the mountains turn blue, it's nice and cold, ready to go. Now I'm on my way to go get my kids. They waiting for me. And I stop in the bar. And I order a drink. And I drink it. I don't want to smoke no crack, but that drink ordered a drink. And I drink it. I'm trying to tell you, man, that's why we can't afford. Alcohol is a drug. We can't be confused about this, right? Just thinking of alcohol separate from crack, heroin, pills, whatever, has caused a great many addicts to relapse. I don't want to smoke crack no more. I know where it takes me. I know where it took me. But then that drink ordered a drink. Now I'm sitting there, and I turn into Ron Bates. I want to rock right now. I want to rock right now. And I'm back on the block in Atlantic City, Ocean Avenue, and St. James for 3 days. And I get locked up again. I get picked up again because they didn't get the word that I got paroled yet. They still got old warrants when they ran my name. They must have seen me for 3 days running in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out St. James. I'm a new kid on the block. I've been going for 3 years. The game changed. I don't know. Now I'm back in the county jail again. I'm there for like 3 days and I get a letter. They said, Johnson, mail up. And I'm happy because I got mail. Because there wasn't nothing else happy, man. I was on the bunk for 3 days, and that's what like brought me back to. And I opened up the letter, and it was from my daughter. She said, the next time I see you, I'm going to spit on your grave. She's not here no more. But she got a chance to see me get clean. She gave me my first year key tag. I got 22 years clean now. I got a grandson that died, right? 7 years old on a tick bite. I was early in recovery, right? He was born on Father's Day. My daughter, before she passed, right, she said, listen, she said, Father's Day. She said, Happy Father's Day. You got a grandson. His name is Jeremiah, right? That's my favorite scripture in the Bible, right? 7 years old, he got bit by a tick. They didn't know it was on him. It was on him for a long time. It just started going through his body and attacking all his organs. They put him on this ECMO machine up and they flew him to Cooper Hospital that replaces the blood plasmas in there. He kept having seizures and heart attacks or whatever. He didn't make it out. And that's why I tell people all the time, right? And it says in the literature, you're going to have good days and bad days. This is what it says in the literature, right? You're going to have good days and bad days. Now that's a bad day, right? And I only have right now, right? And I'm going to tell you and I'm going to explain to you, right? I have good days and I have great days. And a good day is when everything is going good. And they say good times, Danny, can be a trap-off. Right? The good times can be a trap-off. Right? You know, it's going to get so good around here. If you work the program and you work the steps and you do what you do and you work the principles and whatever, man, it's going to get so good around here, the disease is going to come at you and tell you it wasn't that bad.
That's right.
It was horrible at the end. And we all got a story. Play the tape when the disease tells you it ain't that bad. Right? So I got a good day and a great day. Good day, everything's going good. Kids is acting right. Ex-wives ain't messing with me and stuff, whatever, man. You know what I'm saying? My girl at home ain't, you know what I'm saying? The bills is paid, man. Got a little money in my pocket. That's a good day. And I don't get high with money in my pockets and all that's going on and everything's good and I don't get high, it's a good day. Now, when everything is going bad and everything ain't going right and the bills is backed up, credit cards is to the max, and you know, and the people at my job ain't listening to me, right? Because I'm an executive chef now, right? I got responsibilities now, right? And they not acting right, you know what I'm saying? And everybody's going around, this one's getting high, that one's using whatever, you know what I'm saying? And I don't get high when a bad day like that's going on and I don't get high, it's a great day. That's a great day for us, man. At the end of the day, that's how you turn a bad day into a great day, right? When ain't the promise of freedom from active addiction enough for you? Remember where we was at? Remember the hole we was in? Remember all the times you wanted to kill yourself, Stephan? And this is what the disease is throwing at you? Please. Please. That's all you got, I tell them. I got a program that's so powerful. And when you use it, and when you get a chance to work the principles and the spiritual principles that this program has to give, man, you need to jump out the window. Love and forgiveness is the most powerful thing that we have. If there's somebody that you ain't getting along with, that you hate, and that you whatever, man, you need to forgive them and let them off the hook. And in that way, you're letting yourself off the hook. The forgiveness ain't for them. It's for you. Use it. They're sleeping good at night. You're the one. Man, let them off the hook. The power of prayer. God's going to do it for you. You just got to ask him. You got to let him in. You got to tell him, man, listen, man, I don't want to hate this person no more. Please let me show them some love. You ain't got to deal with them on a daily basis, but you ain't got to be thinking about what they did to you or what you think. Man, forgive them. Love, forgiveness, and anonymity is the most powerful thing we have. The tools that this program has given us, man. And I'm trying to tell you, man, this is the best Stephan I ever knew in my whole life, man. Sometimes I got to pinch myself, man. Really, man. I'm living the dream. I really am. And I only got to do it just for the day. You only got to do it just for the day. You ain't got to love that person for the rest of your life. Just get through the day loving them. Tomorrow take care of itself. And the more that you work the principles, the more you say, I'm sorry, the more you say, that's unfamiliar to us. To say I'm sorry, I'm wrong, and that I love you. But the more you do it, the easier it becomes on a daily basis. I don't even count them. I text like 75, 80 people every morning, something inspirational, all individually. It takes me like 45 minutes because everybody don't know everybody, man. And it's an intimacy that I have with people that is like unbelievable. And I don't know where I get the energy and the time. I know where it comes from. It comes from God. You know, you want to say, thanks Omar, you want to say that, you know, I'm tired, you know, I'm whatever, huh? Tired? Stephan, you ran for 3 days at a time. 3 days at a time. People talk about, oh, I'm too busy to make a million. I'm too, caught up to make a million, right? And then they be like, man, listen, I don't got time to make a million. And then they be like, I'm too high to make a million.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then when I come in here, right, and I like to tell this story all the time, right? Danny, am I doing all right, Danny, huh?
You got plenty of time.
I got plenty of time, Danny, boy. I know they tired of listening to me, man, but listen, I got to tell this story, right? And I might have another one after this. He said I got plenty of time. I'm going to tell this story, right? I like to tell a little war story every now and then to let people know that I ain't no big eye, and I only stand up because I'm animated.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? I can hit it like I'm animated, right? And this program has done so much in my life, right, man? I want to show the enthusiasm, right? I don't got to show, right, man? It's already in me, right, man? How, man, I love Narcotics Anonymous, man. It saved my life, man. It gave me, remember when I told you I couldn't get a job at McDonald's? Look at Ellen, girl, Ellen, huh? I love you, Ellen, huh? Come on, Ellen, huh? Thank you, huh? She know, boy, I got to do this water, boy. Come on, huh? So listen, right? So the newcomers and people coming to the meetings, right? And they share, some things that I haven't done. And I'm not going to judge them for what they done because I did whatever I had to do to get one more. I'm not exempt from what I had to do. If I wanted to keep smoking crack, if I wanted to keep sniffing dope, I did what I had to do to keep doing it. So when somebody comes in the rooms and they talk about, and they're trying to free themselves and the things that they did to get one more, I understand. But I always share. I never ever, and before I say this, people be like, oh, come on, get honest. I never ever had a homosexual act with another man to get one more. Now let me explain. That's because I never was presented with it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you the story. So there was this guy in the Stanley Homes Village in Atlantic City from New York, and his name was Punchy. And Punchy was homosexual. So Punchy had the big jumbles from New York, though, right? Crack jumbles, right? $20, right? You get them in New York for like $5. And he come to Atlantic City and sell them for 20. But they was the jumbles. And he used to come around while we were smoking and be like, is everything okay in there? And thank God, when he came around and asked was everything okay in there, I was good. But I ain't never say, get out of here, you bag of this or whatever. I was like, no, we good, Punchy. Reservation, no, we good, Punchy. You know what I'm saying? I ain't need Punchy, but no, we good, Punchy. You know what I'm saying? Okay, let me know if everybody needs anything. Okay, Punchy. So now I'm way uptown, running for 2.5 days. Screen hanging from both ends. Right? Ain't got no push, ain't got no ways and means to get no more on the stove, trying to get whatever, right? Burnt this side of my mustache, a little more hair grow over here. I got to take an eyeliner and stuff, whatever, and fill it in over here and stuff, whatever, from the nerves and everything else, whatever, from being this close to the, one time, my eyebrows caught a little bit. I'm down there with this little thing trying on the stove up high like this, whatever, huh? Ex-wife come in and be like, oh no, you got to go, right? And I'm there looking like a monster with no half a mustache and stuff, whatever, and no ways and means to get no more. First thing that comes to mind, I wonder if Punchy's down there. So I go all the way down there, my man laughing. Look, my man, go all the way down there. And Punchy's standing over there, right? In the court, Punchy's standing over. I'm like, yeah, go Punchy over there, right? So I call my man, I said, yo, my man. He said, what's going on, Steph? I said, come here. I said, go see if Punchy want to do anything. He said, what? I said, shh. I said, go see if Punchy want to do something. I'm desperate, right? I want, you know what I'm saying? He goes over there, and he's talking to Punchy, and Punchy looks over at me, and I say, I'm posted up, right? Pants falling off my ass. I'm like this, whatever. I'm trying to toot it out. I'm trying to hold it and stuff, whatever. I'm getting tired, right? And Punchy looked back on me, and I heard Punchy say, he's too dirty. Thank God for being too dirty. At the time. I'm just saying, though, man. I don't judge nobody. I ain't do nothing, man. I'm the same addict, man. Same crackhead, man, that took a hit in the crack house, man, and shit on himself. Well, I took a hit and I shit on myself, right? And not only that, though, right? And I was live, and I had a lot in my pocket, man, and I sat in there for 2 days. 2 days. Till I ran out. And the house lady says, you gotta leave. You smell like shit. But as long as I had some, I was all right. I'm like, did anybody smell anything? She was like, no, we don't smell nothing. Because I'm live. I got a lot. So when I come in here, man, I don't try to say with 22 years, clean or whatever, that I'm this big guy and no little you, man. I remember when it was horrible at the end. That same garage, Caesars, man, at the end of the road, man, I was ready to jump. Back in the early 90s, a lot of people were jumping off to the casinos. And I went up there with a little stem, with one little hit, already in my mind. I'm going to just take this last blast, and I'm going to hold it in till I hit the ground. I never, ever want to forget that. So when it comes to helping a still sick and suffering addict, I jump out the window. I'll take you to rehab. I'll stop what I'm doing. I'll buy you something to eat. That's who I am today. And I don't know why. It comes from prayer and meditation every day to improve my conscious contact with God as I understand Him. And I ask Him, right, because I work a lot of hours and I'll be tired and stuff, whatever. And I always ask Him, man, please give me the power to carry it out. You are high. You are high. Get a phone call from somebody saying, listen, man, I'm up here in North Jersey and I got 30 years, I got 30 days clean. Thanks to you, Stephan. No thanks to me. Thanks to the program of Narcotics Anonymous that showed me the way. And I'm going to do everything in my power and the power that God gives me to help us still sick as they need us today. God didn't clean you up for you. It's over for you. You did a piss poor ass job of it. Ellen, more water, Ellen. I'm just shaking his head. No. But I'm saying, though, man, I don't just talk this talk, man. I try to walk this walk. And I'm not no saint, and I'm not doing it. I'm still an addict in recovery, trying to get it right. And most days, I do. I get through the day, man, and I'm just trying to do the right thing for the right reasons, right? I got a quote from Muhammad Ali says, the rent helping another person is the rent that you are charged for your room here on earth. That's what we're charged with to stay here. So if you're not helping somebody else or you're not doing what you need to do to help somebody else, man, and using this powerful, powerful, powerful message that God has given us, man, you're in trouble. I'm not saying. It's not for you no more. They need us, man. They need us, man. Right? And my other story, right? I got time to tell this story then?
Yes, sir.
So now, I told you, I got the best degree in culinary arts. God gifted me with that, man, right? Now, I am the executive chef at Doc's Oyster House in Atlantic City. I've been there 23 years. Check this out, right? I told you I got 22 years clean. God set me up real nice, man. The job of my dream, right? I got 22 years clean. I've been there 23 years. So a whole year I was working there. I was at the end of the road in my active addiction. The first whole year I was working there, I was selling more shrimp and lobster than they was. And they found out when I left, when I went to New York, back home, to get help. My brother came and got me from Atlantic City and took me back home to Poughkeepsie, New York. And took me to a meeting a day for a week. Every day, the first day I got there, took me to a meeting for a week. I was withdrawn from heroin and crack cocaine and everything else that you put in front of me. When I used to go to rehabs and all that stuff, whatever, they'd be like, what's your drug of choice? They look at this, yo, what's your drug of choice? I was like, I ain't know I had one. What's my drug of choice? Whatever they put in front of me. If you really want to have it, was sheetrock. I smoked more of that than I did anything. I wasn't this big, I was smoking G's and keys and whatever. No, I do one little piece of crack, not even, something, you know what I'm saying? And I'd be smoking sheetrock the rest of the night. That's what's wrong with me sometimes. Sometimes I'd be like, I don't know where it comes from. I think it's the sheetrock. You think? I don't know, huh? Sometimes I'm a little crazy and stuff, whatever. But listen, right? But, so I go up there, and then the next week, I call my brother. I said, yo, man, we going to the meeting. He said, listen. He said, you know where every meeting is. He says, call somebody on the list. The first guy called on the list says, yes, I'll come to get you. Because my brother said, I got something to do today. I'm not going to make the meeting today, right? He had like 11 years clean at the time, right? And I had 7 days. And he said, I got things to do, whatever. He said, I showed you whatever you used to, man, listen, the power of this program. And I'm not going to do what they did for me? Huh? Come on, somebody was here when you got here. Somebody took you by the hand. Somebody showed you the water.
That's right.
And it's not, you don't have the power to make nobody drink the water. But we do have the power to show them. We show them the water by the way we live, and by the way we talk to them, and by the way we treat them, and the love that we show them, we're showing them the living water. And they want what you got if you just show them and let them know that you're visible and available to them and stuff, whatever, man. Now you got this busy life and you ain't got time to do meetings and your ass is in trouble. The disease don't care about your busy life. It just wants to get in. All it needs you to do is do one. And we have a program set up so good that we don't never, ever, 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 ever have to use again. And the most powerful way to keep that and to keep your clean time is to help somebody else. The steps are our best guarantee against relapse. What did I say before? For the first time in man's entire history, there's been a proven way. And it's working itself in the lives of many addicts. Every one of us, man, is charged with helping somebody else, man. And you know what's the beauty of it? They don't have to be in the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous.
That's right. That's right. Come on, man. City Hoop.
I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? Oh, and they ain't an addict and stuff, whatever. No, huh? When I go to the supermarket, do I take my cart back? Yes. And on the way taking mine back, if I see two others on the curb or whatever, I'll grab it. I turn into the cart boy. With 22 years clean, executive chef at Doc Toys House, right? So I told you, I'm jumping around, jump with me, right? So I'm going to go back to the story I was telling, right? And I'm going to end it with this story, right? So I go to New York. In 30 days, I make $1 million a day for 30 days. And somewhere along that 30 days, and I don't know what day it was, but the obsession and compulsion was lifted. Boy, how good is God? That's all I wanted to do was stop smoking crack. That's all I prayed for. I never ever wanted to smoke crack no more. Crack cracked me, my spirit. I wanted to kill myself. I didn't want to live no more. I had 5 kids at home waiting for me, right? Come back from New York. And in 30 days, my brother said to me, "You ready to go home?" What? He said, "Listen." He said, "And listen, if you don't hear nothing else I said, right? If you can continue to do what you did here for 30 days and take it back home," he says, "I've been to Atlantic City. They got more meetings in Atlantic City than they do up here." He says, "And if you continue to do in Atlantic City what you did here, you're going to be all right." And he says, "And you know the beauty of it is?" He says, "You only got to do it just for the day." I'm thinking I got to stay clean for the rest of my life. He says, "No, you'll never make it." He says, you stay clean for the rest of your life?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He says, "You'll never make it. You'll never do nothing for the rest of your life." He says, "But you can do it just for the day." I said, wow, that was the most profound thing I ever heard. He said, "You sleep 8 hours. You work 8 hours." He says, "There's only 24 in a day." He says, "You only got to make a meeting 2 hours, an hour and a half a day." He says, "You use for 3 days in a row." and look at you. He says, "Don't put more on your plate than you can handle." He says, "Just do it right." And I got to Atlantic City and Doc Toys House, which they were up at the Seafood Festival in this other place called Fish Heads. That's the only place I could get a job. It was friends of mine. They had a little hole in the wall, right? And motor oil is fish grease and stuff, whatever, man. And I got the best degree that culinary can buy. Ivy League school, culinary art, CIA. And I'm working in this little hole in the wall, one Friday later, making greasy fish sandwiches in the village. And I managed to get the job at Doc's a year before I got clean because of what it said on my paper. And the lady that hired me, the owner, God bless her soul, she looked at me, she says, "You come from the CIA," but she said, "But you don't look like you come from the CIA." She's looking at the paper, she's looking at me, she's looking at the paper. She said, "This your name?"
Yeah.
Just saying though, man. How God will set you up real good, man. And I came back, man, it was on a Sunday, and they were all at the Seafood Festival, and the Doherty boys, that own the place now, up and run, Dockley, they looked at me, they turned around, they said, wow. I can remember, listen, right? When I left, man, I was sucked in, and I was weighing 150 pounds, man, no color, no nothing, whatever, man. And I'm just saying, man, I owe my life. I owe Narcotics Anonymous my life, man, because the power, man, that God did, man, right, man? He gave me my color back. He put a little weight on me, man, and he did, man. And I'm saying, man, and what he did in 30 days, I didn't see it. I didn't feel it. But the people that looked at me said, wow. And I said, well, I need my job back, right? He said, well, we come down to see me tomorrow at the office, right? At the restaurant, right? And I said, all right. It didn't sound too good and stuff, whatever. And I was just like, you know what I'm saying? Whatever, you know what I'm saying? I went down there. And his name's Frank, the owner. He said, shut the door. He said, listen, Stephan. He says, when you was gone, he said, a lot of people, he said, came to me and told me you were doing a lot of stealing. And he said, and my mother, mainly, because she's the one that hired you, and she, thought, it's her fault, whatever. And my brother, we decided, we're not going to hire you back. He says, but I'm going to give you a good letter of recommendation. He says, and whatever you're doing, he says, keep doing it. He said, you're doing good. He said, whatever, right? And I said, you know what I'm saying? I said, I don't know where I'm at in my program, whatever, but I said, I'm sorry. And whatever they said, I said, it's true. And I'm sorry, and I want to apologize. And I said, and I want to thank you for the opportunity, whatever, man. I said, you're a good man, and thank you. And I left out the door, and I said, got 4 steps. He said, Stephan, come here. He said, close the door. He said, I don't know what it is about you. He says, I don't know what it is about you. He says, but my mother and my brother are going to give me a lot of shit. He says, come back to work tomorrow. He says, and I don't know what you're doing, but you keep doing it. He said, the first sign I get that you're not doing, he said, I said, thank you so much. I said, now I'm the executive chef of the place. And I run it, right? I'm just talking about, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not bragging, I'm not boasting, man. I'm just talking about, I told you where I was at, where God took me, man, my experience, strength, and hope, man, and what he'll do for you, right? And I'm telling you, right, now we were just named #1 seafood restaurant in the state of New Jersey, right? And I'm not bragging, and I'm not boasting, right? And friends and family come in there, and they come and talk to me, man. I go out to the table, I tell jokes, man. I put on a show. All because of the program of Narcotics Anonymous, right? So I get back there, he gives me my job back, and after 6 years clean, they got a big judge, right? Judge Connors, drug court judge, right? I went before him in my active addiction when I was going down to do 3 years down at Southern State Prison. They sentenced me to 3 years down to Southern State Prison, and I was before him, and he said, before I sentence you, Mr. Johnson, do you have anything to say? And I said, yes, Your Honor. I said, I'm not a drug dealer. I said, I don't need prison. I said, I need a program. He said, well, take care of your problem down prison. They got plenty programs. And now I see why he said that, because at the time, all drug dealers were copping out till they were addicts. And they were trying to just get programs instead of hard time state prison. So they were doing that, and they caught on to it. Like, this guy back out on the street already in halfway house, still selling keys and G's in the halfway house, you know what I'm saying? And so he thought I was dope feeding him because I got caught selling 3 ounces to undercover, but I was getting out the drug dealer's car into the undercover's car and getting back into the drug dealer's car, giving him the money, and he gave me a little piece like this, whatever, for making the transaction. But they got me selling the 3 ounces. Not him. You know, they wanted him, but I took the weight. But anyway, so I get to the, and this is the end of the story, I tell you. So my boss, his brother got ties. He's a Princeton lawyer. He got ties to the judges, Superior Court judges and everything. And they got Judge Connor's retirement party from drug court, turning it over to Drug Sanson, who's turning it to recovery court at Doc's Oyster House. His retirement party's there. And there's 6 judges, Superior Court judges there at his party. And Judge Sampson knows me from child support court, right? And he knows I'm the chef at Doc's now, right? But don't none of the rest of them know that, right? And my jacket and stuff. I broke into City Hall. Who breaks into City Hall? Who does that? And now I'm at the table, right? My boss, brother, Princeton lawyer, comes in the kitchen and says, Chef, Judge Sanson wants you out at the table. So I come out. And I stand next to Judge Sanson. And he said, listen up, everybody. Here's a very honorable man. Talking about me, right? He said, here's a very honorable man. Chef Stephan. Right? And they finish eating dinner and they start clapping, right? And I said, you know me. Well, you might not know me. I said, Judge Connor, congratulations on your retirement and stuff like that. I said, but I got a question for you. Because, you know, you asked me, did I have anything to say back then, all right? And I said, you sentenced me to 3 years. And you asked me, did I have anything to say? And I told you that I wasn't no drug dealer, that I needed a program. And you told me to take care of my problem down prison. He said, and look how you turned out. I couldn't be mad at him, right? I said, all right. So I said, I always tell a joke, and so this is the joke I told him. I said, right? This is the joke I told the judges. I said, a husband and wife are arguing on their way into the courtroom because the wife got caught stealing. And the husband's this big guy in the community and whatever, man, and he's going to support and going into the courtroom, but he's yelling at her. He says, why are you stealing? What is wrong with you? Do you know what people are going to say about me, about you? Why are you stealing? What is wrong with you, woman? I have enough money. He's screaming and yelling at her. And she says, I don't care what people say about me or what they say about you. She said, I've been stealing all my life. She said, I just got caught this time. And they go into the courtroom and they're standing in front of the judge and he's huffing and puffing and the judge looks down at his wife and he says, ma'am, what did you get caught stealing? She says, Your Honor, I stole a can of sweet potatoes. And he says, how many sweet potatoes was in that can? She says, there was 8, Your Honor. He said, I'm afraid I'm going to have to give you 8 years. The husband says, she stole a can of peas too, Your Honor. Thank you for letting me share. I love you guys. Thank you. Come on, Daddy, man.
All right. All right, closing. We would like to thank the speaker for sharing their experience, strength, and hope. Let's give them another round of applause. Please join us in the Serenity Prayer. God,
grant us the serenity.